Hi everyone. I just wanted to take a few minutes to give you some more detail about your upcoming My Identity as a Leader paper. What I've done is gathered together the information for the paper, and I'm just going to kind of show you how I would approach this. You don't have to follow this. You may have a different way of writing papers that makes sense for you, but this is kind of the way I would approach it. So the big idea is just knowing who you are as a leader, and putting that together with reflecting on your purpose and your strengths and weaknesses and values and all of those things. And so, as you'll notice right here, there's required sources. You can use others as well, but you're definitely going to want to use Palmer, StrengthsFinder, and the VIA inventory, which is from Exploring Leadership Chapter 4. So if you haven't taken that yet, make sure you do that. Some recommended sources, chapters 4 and 5 of Exploring Leadership are going to have some important things as well, but it's not necessary that you use that. If it's helpful, that's great. If not, that's fine too. But make sure that your paper includes quotes and references to all of the required sources that are listed here. So as this says, this is an academic paper that integrates personal reflection, class readings, discussion, and lectures. And so what I've done here is I've basically divided the paper up into three different parts. And this is usually what I do when I'm writing a paper. I kind of break it into pieces and take notes on it. And so what I would do is start with the first part here, which is what is your current sense of your vocation purpose as a leader. And so if I were to be working on this, I would probably say something along the lines of, my current, ah, not good at spelling, sense of vocation is. And then I would try to just kind of say in a sentence or two what I feel like my current sense of vocation is, what I feel called to in terms of leadership. Where do you feel called to lead? What kinds of things bring you energy in life as a leader? And so I would take a little time to think about that from personal reflection. From there, I would move to um, looking for sources of support from Palmer. So, maybe I would talk a little bit about the ways in which something Palmer said about his own identity as a leader, um, kind of triggered something in me. So one of the things he talks about is authenticity in leadership and taking off the masks and showing our shadow selves. And for me and my sense of vocation purpose as a leader, that's a pretty big thing. So I would look back at the Palmer reading and put up put up some quotes that I might want to use to support what I'm saying in terms of my current sense of vocation. So then I would move on to look at what values guide your leadership, and from here I would look at the VIA assessment results. Yeah, I'm actually a good speller. I'm just not a good typer. Except I always spell assessment wrong apparently. There we go. And so I would take some time to look at the VIA assessment results and just make sure I'm familiar with that. And I would want to put down some page numbers again about what kinds of values influence my leadership. In fact, I might even, share my results and then say a little bit, about some personal experiences. And then I'd have some page numbers that I would use. Again, this is just kind of a rough outline, so right now you're just trying to get the pieces together. And then what strengths do you bring to the work of leadership? So I'm a learner, competition, strategic, achiever, and ideation. So I would make sure that I spend some time looking at the report, the StrengthsFinder report, and making sure that I explain what each of those is and had a sense of that. And so I'd want to get some page numbers again. This would be another place where uh, you might want to use chapters 4 and 5 of Exploring Leadership as well. Boy, I am really bad at typing. That's where we um, talk about strengths. So you got these three components of your paper, and now the challenge is you want to synthesize them. You want to kind of bring them together. And so what I would do is kind of look at my results and what I have so far, and I always try to write a focus statement. Um, so I want to say in one or two sentences, you know, the main idea, the big idea of the paper, what I really want to try to get across. And that's going to vary from person to person depending on who you are. Um, but having that focus statement really helps you to think about that. In terms of the order and how you put these pieces together, that's really up to you. But organization is going to be a big thing for this paper because there's a number of different materials that you need to take a look at. Um, so, you know, for me, I might start off with you know, talking about my current sense of vocation as a leader and, you know, how Palmer has helped me understand that. And then I would move into the more particular things in terms of values and strengths that I bring to the work of leadership. You know, how does that inform where I may be feeling called to lead? And then I'd bring it together at the end, you know, in a conclusion that kind of brings all of those pieces together. So you can do this in order if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to kind of work to make sure that it's somewhat integrated. So I hope that's somewhat helpful in thinking about how you might approach this paper. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to contact me. If something doesn't make sense, let me know. I'm here to help, and I want to help. So good luck with the paper. It's 4 to 6 pages, double spaced, obviously. Make sure you have your citations and everything else. There is a rubric for it. That's attached to the assignment in the coursework section. It's also on the rubric page. So look forward to seeing what you come up with.